Story Grows. I'm Brian Patton. Today we welcome back to the podcast Hoaxed frontwoman Kat Keo. The new Hoaxed record, Death Knocks, is out today on Relapse Records. Kat talks about adding April to the band on bass, touring with black metal bands, the preparation the band put into the songs before hitting the studio, the lyrical ideas on Death Knocks, and more. Death Knocks takes everything I loved about Two Shadows and elevates it while adding a little more fun into the darkness. I'll put a link in the show notes to my original conversation with Kat and Kim for you to check out if you missed that and want to know more about the background and inception of Hoaxed. Thanks so much for checking out this episode of As the Story Grows. If you're brand new to the podcast, welcome. Thanks for listening. You can find links in our show notes or at asthestorygrows.com for our Discord server, our mailing list, and our Patreon page. And if you aren't subscribed to the podcast, I would love it if you subscribed on your podcast platform of choice. Make sure you check out February's sponsor of As the Story Grows, Tapehead City. You can head to tapeheadcity.com. They have a copy of Hoax Two Shadows on the site that you could pick up right now. And while you're there, make sure you grab a copy of some cassettes by Bad Brains. You can pick up Eye Against Eye. You can pick up Refused, The Shape of Punk to Come, Bad Religion, Suffer. They got a couple Descendants cassettes now. So make sure you head on over to tapeheadcity.com and support our sponsor for this month. Enjoy today's conversation with Kat from Hoaxed.
No, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I said I'm excited to have you back on because I'm not on social media. Like, we talked last time for the last album. I picked Two Shadows up on cassette, so I listen to it all the time. But I'm not. Nice. I'm not on social media, so like, I don't like see if the band is doing anything, right?
Oh, yeah.
So occasionally it's just like, album. Well, yeah. Now I was like, I don't know, is Hoax still a band? I don't know. You can find out.
It's been a long 3 years, but yeah, we've been doing a lot. So
yeah. I guess the big thing since the last time is you've added a member with Kim. At what point did you decide we need a bass player, and how did you end up with not Kim, April joining the band?
We added April in. April is someone that Kim and I have known for many, many years. She's part of the Portland metal scene. Like, I've seen her other bands play. She's friends with Kim and her husband. We see them a lot. And so when Kim and I got an offer to go on tour with Hoaxed, I mean, we started Hoaxed as the two of us. We were not equipped to play live shows when we first started. So April was like the obvious go-to. It's just like, oh, we know this rad person who plays bass. Let's have her go on tour with us. And then it just kind of fell into place from there. It's wild to me that she was not on the first two albums with us, the EP or the full length. She seems like such an integral part of the band now that it's kind of insane that she was added as like a later ad. But yeah, she's just always been kind of part of it. And it was just a very natural thing to include her as a full-time member.
Nice.
Yeah.
How has it been since signing to Relapse? And like, I mean, Two Shadows been out for a long time. How has it been kind of finding your place and your fans in a broader worldwide, stateside, like metal scene? Because the band exists not in any real genre, right? It's part surf rock, part doom metal, part something else completely.
For real, yeah. Yeah, it's true. I mean, that was kind of like super apparent to us when we went on tour with we've been touring with black metal bands, which has been rad, but we go on tour with these bands and it's like, we're opening the night and these people are here to hear black metal. Yeah. And then we come on stage and they're kind of like, is this black metal? And we're like, no, like we're just, we're the soft intro to get you like pumped for like the doom that's to come.
Yeah.
But I mean, there definitely is crossover. I would never call Hoaxed a black metal band, but I think our ability to like touch multiple genres does help us to connect with other people. I mean, we've had a lot of people that listen to the music that are like, I don't listen to metal, but I listen to this. And then we also have like hardcore metal fans that are into it. And like, for me personally, like that's just, it's so cool to reach people that perhaps have different tastes and they're like maybe introduced to the genre through us. That's like, that would be the ultimate goal for me.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, it's been a long time. I mean, a long time, right? Like in this day and age, 3 years is forever. But what took that time to get to this release? Is it just vinyl delays? Is it just, taking the time to tour and discover what the band is a second go around or third go around?
Yeah, I think initially it was, I mean, we released the EP, we were signed to Relapse, we got put on like the Amorphous tour, and we wrote Two Shadows and recorded it before we went on the tour with Amorphous, and then it came out after that tour, and I think then we were just kind of in the thing. Like you're doing the motions, we're going on tour, we're like experiencing all this stuff, and we kind of, for a little bit, we're just, enjoying it and hanging out and doing that, and then suddenly it was like, oh wait, we gotta get another album going. Like we deliberately took a break from touring to like buckle down and write this album. And then another huge factor of it was in November of last year, Kim announced her pregnancy. And so, that would have been 2 years ago, that would have been 2024. And that really put a timestamp on it. She was like, I want to record all of my parts before this baby comes. We were like, all right, let's finish the album and get in studio. So she was in studio last January recording with a passenger on board. And her son is here now. She plays on the album all the time. He's rad. And yeah, so that kind of put this like truncated time. We were actually really grateful for it because I think without it, we might have taken a little bit longer and we didn't really need to. Like these songs were ready. We just needed to pull the trigger and get them done.
Yeah.
So
yeah. This album's called Death Knocks. I know Two Shadows you wrote as like this story and there was this whole lore behind the album. Yeah. Did you have that same approach as this time around, or was it more just like letting each song exist in its own world?
I think it was kind of a combination of both. When we first started writing this album, it was just like writing with April and like exploring that. She'd never written parts like this before. In her previous band, she was handed pieces. So this was the first one where like we wanted her to like drive the bass and write those parts and really sculpt that part of the album. And she dove right into it. So at first we were just kind of experimenting with that. We wrote Where the Seas Fall Silent first. That was the first song off the album. And it definitely set a tone, like that there was a more upbeat vibe that we felt in those tracks, and with April being a part of it. And then very quickly, my lyrical themes, it became very clear that we were just talking about the idea of death and what comes next and the unknown. In a fun way, but there's like very dark undertones to like what the lyrics in this album are talking about. And
that's why you're a metal band.
yeah, exactly. I know that's the thing. We have so much fun, but at the end of the day, it's like all of our topics are pretty morose. Like it's definitely dark. Yeah. And I think, once we got a few songs in, it was like, oh, this is clearly, like with Two Shadows, this is what the vibe of the album is about. We have a very specific thing we're exploring. And then it all just kind of like clicked into place and locked in. And April came up with the idea for the crypt, the mausoleum that's on the front of the cover. And it all just kind of felt complete. And then the name Death Knocks was something we've been like talking about, like that idea of like death coming and like giving you a clear warning before it's there. Death knocks 3 times. Yeah, and it all just kind of fell into place. It was kind of surprising how quickly this album fell into place. Yeah.
Speaking of quick, it is when things are in the press release, like it's like drawing your attention to it, and it mentions that you spent 8 days tracking this album. And I'm like, maybe I don't think that doesn't feel normal these days, but maybe it is. But I'm like, if they're saying it, that means there's a reason for it. So what was that? Just like financial constraints of other things? What led to that quick? Like we want in and out.
Yeah, I mean, we actually booked 12 days, and we thought we would be there for all of it. I think what set it off is we got Kim in there. We did drums first, and then we let the drums be mixed and like get to a pretty good place before we go back in and put everything else over top of it. She knocked him out in 2 days. I mean, she was such a machine. She just ran through these songs so quickly. She was nailing takes, like first take on the songs. And that just kind of set the pace. As soon as we got out, we were like, well, we got out 2 days sooner than we thought we would on drums, and then went in for everything else. And it was the same thing. Guitars were 2 days, bass was 2 days. And it all just like started falling into place. I think we'd had so much time with these songs before we got into the studio. Like, we'd sussed them out pretty well. We like knew what we were going to do. The only thing that really needed extra time were vocals, especially with April. We were like experimenting with her characters and her range and all the things she could do. We had a lot of fun doing that. But yeah, it kind of surprised us all how quickly it went. We love being in the studio too. Like it's a great time. You know, you're like messing around and like trying effects and parts and everything. So it actually went a lot faster than I think we wanted it to, but no regrets. We got all the parts.
Yeah. I mean, there's something to be said about like we're prepped and we know what we want, and you get in and get out and, you know, save some money, right?
yeah, that is true. I mean, we're lucky that like working with Falcon Studios and with Gabe and that kind of thing, they're super honest and good about that stuff. But you know, at the end of the day, like recording is a huge cost for bands, but it's definitely worth it. Yeah.
There was so much of the original Hoaxed sound you guys had said was kind of birthed in COVID and just playing and writing in lockdown. How much has more of a more dynamic rock upbeat sound been inspired by just playing live and seeing what works and connects?
I think most of it. I mean, playing with bands like, you know, like Wolves in the Throne Room, Amorphous, Black Braid, even like Sylvain, like all these bands that we've played with recently that have just such a dynamic, different sound from us. Like we definitely took inspiration from each of them. I mean, you go on tour with a bunch of black metal bands for a year and it's going to affect your sound. But I think April too, I mean, she comes from a really classic heavy metal background, and she's got like that energy and that drive behind her. And you pair that with Kim's drums, it was like, we knew that this was going to be a more energetic album. And that's the kind of music we prefer to play live anyway. So it just kind of happened that way.
Out February 13th. What's this year look like? More touring with black metal bands?
Man, probably. I mean, that's the thing. We're open and we keep getting these black metal tours, and they're always the raddest people that are on this. So it's like, I mean, if it's more black metal, if it's any other genre, like we'll take it. It's been a great experience so far. But coming up very shortly for the album release, we're going on 3 shows. We're going to play Vancouver, British Columbia, and then Seattle and Bellingham, Washington, right around the release. And then we have a Portland hometown show in March, which I cannot wait for that one. It's going to be so fun to hang out with the hometown people. And then we are working on tours. We are hoping to hit the road. That's really like our main goal. We love to tour, and April and I are antsy to get on the road. Kim will come with us, but April and I are like pushing that really hard. We want to go.
I mean, I was going to say, I'm sure like Kim feels that torn of just like, I don't know, I got a kid, they're small, and to be away for all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is
are
like,
you prepared to bring a baby on tour with you in the bus?
I keep mentioning it. I keep being like, bring him along, like let's go. He's great. But yeah, she's down. She wants to tour. Her goal is to be back on the road touring the way that we have before. And her husband also tours, so it's, you know, they can balance that together. And I mean, Kim wants to be back on the road touring with us. It might not be as often, but she's down. And I mean, we haven't seen any change since the baby came along. It's just Kim plus one now, and it's great.
Yeah, that's cool. One of the songs I wanted to hone in and ask about specifically on this record is Looking Glass into Dead Ringer, because tracking was such a quick process. How did you guys come up with that decision to have this like wonderful haunting instrumental piece into this great song with this string section?
Yeah. So right before we went to the studio, right before the drums were done, right before April and I went in for all of our parts, April and Kim went on a trip overseas, and they were like in Turkey and like bumping around in Greece and doing all that kind of stuff. And while they were there, Kim and I were just sending back like audio tracks back and forth of like what we thought this could be. I was like writing it in GarageBand. It sounded awful, like just like the point and click strings. And we just had a general idea of like what we thought Looking Glass should sound like and what cello on Dead Ringer could be. And then when Kim got back from that trip, she really honed it in and had like a pretty decent idea of like what the other track should sound like. So then we went in and we recorded the synth, and then we connected with C.E. Brown. He's this phenomenal cello player out of Denver, and sent him the tracks. And within like a couple of days, he sent us back the final takes and sent them to Arthur, and he mixed them in, and that was the song. Like it all just kind of came together really quickly. But I think, you know, with a lot of things in this album, we did a lot of prep work before it. So we kind of felt pretty comfortable by the time we got in.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I had the album on this morning, and like Just Make You Breakfast, and my 11-year-old, she heard that song and she was like, oh, I like that. Can you add that to my playlist? And I'm like, yeah.
Oh,
totally.
yes. Nice.
Make it fair.
Yeah, that was, I mean, it was a dream come true to work with cello. I love strings, and being able to finally work with something like that in our music, it came together so well. And CE is he's so talented. And yeah, I was really happy we got to include that.
Yeah.
And now that your 11-year-old signed off on it, I'm even more happy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Seal of approval.
Seal of approval from a giant Swiftie.
Oh, nice. Yeah, all right, I'll take it.
It worked. Yeah, I think this album really elevates the sound of the band and what, you know, you guys did on Two Shadows. And I was telling somebody else recently, like anytime a band releases an album that you're just like in love with and just like, this is great, I'm always nervous about that follow-up of like, can it hit, right? Like, and
for real. Oh, thank you. But I mean, I feel that too. It's like, you know, this is something that it's vulnerable. You're like putting something out there. You're like writing something that's vulnerable to you and putting it out there. And like, there is an expectation of like growth and evolution. And I think April brought a ton of that to the band. Like, obviously we're going to change a little bit, but it makes me really happy to know that people that loved Two Shadows love this album too. Cause it just means that we did the right thing. We did them a service. It's great.
Yep.
Yeah, this was a really collaborative effort. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but April did all the cover artwork on that. She made like this tiny little crypt mausoleum thing, which was rad. So there's just been like a lot of elements in this. We were doing all the music videos. It's been a really fun artistic expression, and I cannot wait to get out and start playing these songs live for people now. That's like the final piece that we need to do. I love, by the way, before you go, I love that we have like similar backgrounds. We're both like in front of the instrument section. It's nice. I'm glad we planned this ahead of time.
Yep.